It's almost like if you're getting into a drug and you can't stop for whatever reason. You know, tennis, you lose more than you win, and you're not happy. You can be happy today in the morning, and you play in the afternoon and you lose, and then you're sad. I can't think about any other sport that's so mental than tennis, because you're alone there. You're making decisions on a split second.
You're trying to outdo the opponent. You might be a lesser player, but you might be smarter between the ears and still win. The tournament is for the players, and that the coaches and the parents should be completely in the background.
The training is your practice test, is your homework, and then the tournament is your examination.
And I just feel like a lot of kids feel like tournaments are a drag, or they have to be done, and it should be fun. Like we could not wait to sign up for tournaments. We would go every weekend if our parents would let us, and we could afford it.
It's very uncomfortable putting yourself out there because people may be watching you. You might be in front of college coaches. It puts a lot of pressure.
It helps you become a better competitor. It's hard to sometimes compete in practice and feel like you're getting full value out of your practice, because you're wandering, you're talking to your opponents. You can take long breaks. In a tournament, everything's done by guidelines, and so it's just a lot more clearer picture of what you are as a player.
Their kids there are there to learn how to play tennis, and get to learn how to win playing tennis, and how to play and enjoy the sport.
It's probably the biggest problem in especially junior tennis, where you have parents who get overly involved and we have to remove them from the side of the courts, or they get combative with the umpires or with me, and that's problematic. It's like a piano recital. You don't see, I don't know that much about music, but I'll say, I would guess when the kid goes for the piano recital on Saturday and shows off everything they've learned, I doubt the parent is hanging on the side of the piano and the coach is screaming, saying you hit the wrong key, or you did this, or the piano doesn't work because it's someone's cheating, or X, Y, and Z. They let the kid do the performance, and then they assess it after the fact.
There are like almost two sets of parents. There are some in the 12s or level 8s, 7s and 8s are involved, where they're learning too. They don't really know all the rules yet. They kind of know how to play the game of tennis, and that they see things happen on the court that they don't understand, and they also don't know how to communicate with an umpire yet. Then there's another parent that's heavily invested in their child. They have coaches. They're probably homeschooled. It's almost become a career. So when you're dealing with these type of parents, they're very serious people, and you need to make sure that you deal with them in a highly professional way.
I gave a penalty during a rain delay because the people left and they came back. In the one instance, the father got very upset at me, ended up with his behavior getting his own son defaulted from the tournament. A few weeks before that, the same thing had happened. We'd give out the same point penalty, and the parents on the converse were very thankful. And when they saw me at the next tournament, they jokingly said, we're never going to leave the site. Now we know.
Some of these parents, man, they sit there on the sidelines clapping on every single point that their child wins. Okay, so what happens is the child, when they starts playing, they look for that kind of reinforcement, whether it be positive or negative, and every time they miss a shot or hit a good shot, they look at their parents on the sideline. When your kids are doing that, you have a problem.
I see kids that are doing perfectly on the court, but the parents are acting differently, as I see the other way around, the kids acting crazy on the court, but then the parents are very calm and know how to handle. So sometimes it's hard to put one on one, but many times that when I see irate parents out there and the kids are doing the same.
The problem with the tennis parent is no matter what type of tennis parent you are, and no matter what people will tell you, the nice thing, you're gonna be heavily involved with your kids' tennis?
Times I feel like we have to be police to be out there watching, making sure that they're not talking, coaching, or being disrespectful to the other players or the other parents. So I feel like sometimes it's too much, but that to me is the hardest part. But we can handle. I mean, we handle it as much as we can professionally and take care of situations like that.
I've always thought sportsmanship and etiquette are just as important as wins or losses. And that, unfortunately for some parents and coaches, it's foreign. It's not thought of as important. And the over-involvement of coaches, whether it's talking into the court, signaling, getting too close to the court. At all our sites, we have, generally speaking, viewing lines that keep the parents and the fans far enough from the court where they should not be a distraction.
The biggest challenge is them just, being so hands-on to the point where their kids are just embarrassed to be yelled at while they're in the middle of a clinic and your parents are yelling at you on the sideline. It's embarrassing for their kids. It lowers their self-esteem. It's just, and on top of it, a lot of the times the knowledge is confusing because you're trying to tell them something that may not be conducive to what your coach is trying to teach you. They just, like I said, they read it out of a book, so they see something wrong, but it may not be the most important thing to work on that day. The most important thing to work on that day is what your coach is working on that day.
I think between tennis coaches, parents, and the kid, there has to be always like a very open relationship, which not many places have and not many coaches do. But there has to be a super open conversation about, what the kid is feeling, what the parents are feeling, what the coach is feeling. So they're always on the same page. When it starts to become kind of like nobody knows what's going on, then things fall apart.
As soon as you start playing the higher level tournaments, two things happen. So you start seeing more people, the same people all the time, and then you create your own group. The people you gotta avoid. How much you can say to people. And then when it comes back to ITF tournaments, the majority of the time, the coaches are traveling with the kids.
When you're younger, kids are definitely quite harsh on court. You'll go out there and they will just cheat you right straight in front of you. They'll change the score, they'll be nasty, parents will be yelling, and it's, for some reason, especially when it's like 14s, especially 12s and 14s, tennis competitors can be very cold.
I had a girl come up to me, and I remember she was like 6'2", she was like so much bigger than me, and she's like, she thought I cheated, and so like we came to that, and she's like, so if you're gonna cheat, I'm gonna cheat.
There's a lot of different personalities. There's people who are nice, other people who are very like hard on you, but most of the time no one tries to give away too much. So you could joke around off the court, but on the court it's 100% business.
The thing that I think is really important, and I think it's missed because so many coaches put pressure on the kids, and of course they're getting paid. So it's kind of a vicious cycle where the coaches are putting pressure on the player, parents are putting pressure on the coach and the player. So you have a lot of stress in junior tennis, which really, it should be a learning experience.
You want to use it as a tool to make them into a more disciplined human being who's more accountable, who can problem solve, and all those really good attributes that you can have developing a character.
They should not be focused on ranking. They should not be focused on their UTR rating, their tennis recruiting rating. Those all, if you do well, they all take care of themselves. So what we're seeing and what we're dealing with all the time is that kids are focused on their points and, oh my gosh, little Johnny had a good tournament. They're obviously playing well, and if I lose, and all of these things that really don't matter. If you do well and you train really well and you're disciplined and you're constantly working at it and you're getting better and you're having productive workouts, it shows in tournaments. It will show. But if you're not and you're focused on the wrong things and the training is rocky and it's not going well, I expect players to struggle. That's just the reality.
The most important thing is just to enjoy it. Go out there, even if things aren't going your way, just know that you're gonna have hard times. That you're just gonna have to push through it. But once you come out of those times, it'll be like a new light.
One of the reasons why I love tennis is because the people aspect. I love the people. I've made so many friends out here, hundreds if not thousands of people over the past 20 years through memberships, clinics, lessons, opponents, and it's helped my personal life, my social life. I've got friends that, like I said, if I ever need support for anything, they're there, and that all came through networking through tennis.
I think the most important thing that we got from tennis is the amount of good people we end up meeting throughout all those years. So I would say that 99% of the people we met are very nice, very good people. They have good principles. They want their kids to succeed. They want their kids to have a good education. They have like a different perspective of what life is. And I think that's what I can say is the best thing about having a kid playing junior tennis.
If anything, I just hope they become like me and just love the sport all their lives. That's probably the best message I can give. I went from playing tennis at 10 years old, and now I'm 63 and I'm still playing. I look forward to playing tennis until God says that's it.